If there's one thing that keeps cropping up in my gaming life, it's adventure games. Good, bad, and ugly, adventure games have taken up the majority of my PC gaming since my parents got our first family computer. So when AdventureGamers.com published their list of the top 100 adventure games of all time, I was surprised and dismayed to notice that I'd missed so many good ones. So I thought it might be fun to actually go back and try to play them, discuss my own thoughts on the games and how difficult they were to get running on my Windows 7 machine, and I intend to do all of them, one game at a time. It's an absolutely insane task that will likely take years to finish, but I go where my muse takes me. This isn't just a pants list. This is a mega pants list. AdventureGamers.com's top 100 adventure games of all time. Number 100. Titanic: Adventure Out of Time. Have you ever just wanted to explore the Titanic from top to bottom? How about being able to meet a cast of interesting and occasionally bizarre characters along the way? Look no further than Titanic: Adventure Out of Time. You're a British agent who gets magically transported back to 1912, and you have to complete your mission before the Titanic meets its tragic fate. It won't be easy. Intrigue and espionage are everywhere on the ship, and almost everyone has a secret to protect. The controls are a little weird. Most games of this stop-and-go, hotspot style of exploration use simple mouse controls, but instead you move forward with the W key and turn left and right with the A and D keys. All actions, on the other hand, are performed with the mouse. The ship is humongous, naturally, and you can explore just about all of it. You can even get up into the smokestacks. But despite there being a good deal to do and a lot of characters to talk to, there are large portions of the ship where simply nothing happens. Speaking of the characters, there's some great voice work here. The acting is fantastic for the most part. But the faces...
He would like to meet you in the squash court. They've opened it for him. Highly irregular, I must say. Especially for fencing.
They used a system called Cyber Puppets, which apparently hails from the Uncanny Valley. For the facial animations, they took real pictures of a couple of different expressions and several different mouth movements, which results in this.
Quite the randy old goat from what I hear.
My goodness, I've forgotten completely. I have a message for you.
Now, for the most part, the mouth movements match up to what they're saying pretty well, but there's still something unsettling about it. Still, it probably saved them loads of memory. Using FMV for all the characters and lines in this game would have taken up several more discs. The story is pretty damn good. In fact, there are multiple paths through the game, and the ending changes substantially based on your choices and accomplishments throughout. If you manage to complete all of your objectives, you can even manage to stop World War I and II from happening, thanks to a couple of cool twists. The puzzles in the game are somewhat lacking. Most are just give the right item to the right person duties, but there are a couple of logic puzzles worth your time. Granted, most of them just have the freaking instructions nearby and all you have to do is follow them, but at least all of them make some sort of logical sense. Except for one puzzle, which you're forced to do twice, the second time for no apparent reason other than to pad out the game's length. There are also some action sequences, but these appear to be almost impossible to win. It's a good thing that neither of them is required to complete your objectives, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Getting this to run on Windows 7 was tricky, but far from impossible. I had to use a virtual machine to do it. I use VMware Player, as it's free, and so far in my experience, it's also reliable. Titanic installed and ran perfectly with no errors on a Windows 98 SE virtual machine. Still, despite its flaws, Titanic does manage to convey a sense of grandeur and wonder. It's a very engaging experience, especially once the ship meets the iceberg. Then Titanic reaches a whole new level of tension. The clock is seriously ticking as you race to complete your objectives and get off the boat in time. It's a rush. All in all, a very solid adventure game, good enough to make the list, but only just. Next time, number 99.